Hey guys, this is your host Naman, and I welcome you to yet another podcast. This time it's gonna be about marketing as a career in India. And today's guest is gonna be Nakul, who started his journey by doing a bachelor's in computer applications (BCA), and after leaving a well-set software engineering career path, he chose a rather interesting one called marketing and advertisement. And currently, he is the marketing manager at one of the leading fintech startups in India called Simple. And today we're going to be covering everything right from what is marketing to how much money can you make as a marketer in India to some really cool and interesting insights that Nakul has to share from his 10-year long career in marketing. And without wasting any time, you're watching Bahut Scope Hai. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Naman, and today we are with Nakul. So, Nakul, how are you?
I'm great, Naman. How are you doing? Thanks for having me over.
Certainly. I think it's going to be a very insightful yet fun session. So let's just start and quickly go over your introduction, like how it's been like, where you've worked at, and so on.
I started my journey maybe about 9 to 10 years back, and so I typically, as anyone would do, I went into studying something completely different and then moving into marketing. Right. So I actually started my career. I would say I studied, BCA, which is actually computer applications. Right. So I was, trying to go in the traditional path of, probably becoming a software engineer. I didn't do engineering. And then while studying that, I realized this is not what I want to do. Soon after my degree, I, ended up doing, MBA. So, back in the day, we would, while there was all the business schools and, the IIMs of the world, I was born and raised in Bangalore. So I kind of took the traditional way. I went and did my, PGCET, and I got a good rank, and, I got a good seat in one of, good college in Bangalore called Presidency University.
All
And
right.
I ended up doing my MBA there, and there I specialized in marketing and systems. I realized advertising is something that I want to try out. So I joined an independent creative agency, again based out of Bangalore, called Graffiti Collaborative, and that's where my advertising career started. So I moved more into like business development and sales, where I would actually meet and talk with merchants and with clients and get them on board, right? And we would obviously sell our services, right? Our marketing services, creative services, like everything from design, social media marketing, etc. From there, I kind of grew my way up. I was heading the marketing function there. It was a small company. We had about 30 people, and I was managing multiple teams. Again, the teams involved, digital marketers. They had designers, content writers, and we would work together to create marketing strategies, create digital strategies, branding strategies, communication strategies for brands. Meanwhile, I saw an opportunity during this time, come across my way in Simple, and Simple is where I currently work. So I'm a marketing manager at Simple, and uh, I kind of work with the D2C marketing team, right? And so we work very closely with merchants, and it's more of merchant marketing. So I take care of the entire merchant marketing piece right now. And Simple is a one-tap checkout, and we're trying to kind of take this and make payments easy for people, right? And yeah, so that's where I am now, and it's been a great
Cool.
journey. I'm happy with how it's gone so far.
Definitely. I mean, it sounds really interesting from where you started, and how life took turns
Yeah,
and how you've landed up where you are.
yeah,
Definitely. And
absolutely.
Simple is definitely a great company. Yeah, because I also work at the same place. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Just
Cool.
kidding. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the journey was really awesome. And now for the viewers, if we can discuss a little about what marketing really is, and how do you explain the job of a marketing manager from a day-to-day tasks perspective? Like, what do they do,
Cool.
and what it's like being a marketing manager?
Yeah. So, if you go with the, traditional definition, right? When you ask what marketing is, it's not very complicated. Traditionally, it's just a bunch of things or activities that you do or a certain brand or a company does to basically promote what they're selling. It can be products, it can be services. So it's basically to promote the, you can say selling and buying of those products and services. That's what the
Right.
traditional definition means, right? But, I would like to look at it in a little more non-conventional way, right? Probably the way I understand it. I would say it's more of a process of, kind of, attracting, people, users, customers, whatever you want to call it, and who you think is your target, of course, to actually buy into your product or service, right? So
Correct.
that's it's as simple as, attracting somebody to just come and buy it. And what are those activities you do to attract those people? That is marketing, right? And
Correct.
typically I would say, yeah, that's what it is. And if you have to go into what a marketing manager's role is, it would go into planning, right? Planning is a big part of what the tasks are.
Right.
Then from the planning, you would have some meetings to probably discuss that plan. The second part of it is executing your plans. It can be plans which you've done previously, plans which you've just made, ensuring that you're executing. And the latter part goes into analyzing whatever you've executed and improvising that to kind of better your results. So all marketing managers, like any other role, will have goals and objectives that they want to achieve, right?
Definitely.
But here, you can do those experiments and, kind of figure out what went wrong and, better that. So you will always take, like, goals and objectives to better whatever you did, and that's how you grow as a marketing manager as well. And so I would say typically these are the kind of things that you do. But yeah, I would like to stress up on the point there, it involves a lot of meetings and, a lot of
Definitely.
discussions and a lot of thinking and planning, right? So
Yes.
I think it's important to keep your mind free, because it's not always about just running and executing. If you've not done an analysis and planning beforehand, you might not execute as well as you can, right? It's always, your execution plan is always good as, what you have planned, right?
Definitely.
So I would say
Definitely.
these are the three key things I would say, which would typically happen in a marketeer's day.
Got it. And maybe now we can jump over to the money. What are the salaries like if you're starting your career as a marketing manager, and as it progresses?
So I would say, you know, before a marketing manager, I would say you would need to gain a lot of experience and learnings being a marketing executive as well, right? Like I
Right.
said, marketing is a very broad term, right? Under marketing, there's multiple roles which come, right? You can be a social media marketing manager, you can be a digital marketing manager, brand marketing manager, product marketing. There's multiple things now, and as it goes, content marketing. There's absolutely a lot, right? And I would say salaries differs, you know, for all of these roles. So I would say as a marketing executive, right, who gets right out of college, you know, because of the kind of demand and the kind of role it is in, you can start off anywhere from a 4 to 5 lakh kind of package, and you would see typically marketing executives, being people without, let's say, even like a postgraduate degree. It can be somebody who's just finished like a BBA or a BCom. Then typically a person would do, let's say, an MBA specialized in marketing. Again, under MBA in marketing, you have multiple things that you can study and learn. Like once your PG is done, you can quickly jump into a marketing manager or a senior marketing manager, uh, and start anywhere from a 10 lakh package and go all the way to 35-40 lakhs depending on your experience and role. Again, one misconception is growth in marketing, right? Like, what can you be? You'll be a marketing executive, you'll be a marketing manager, then probably head of marketing, right? Or VP of marketing, then a CMO, right? But I would say, as a marketing manager itself, there is a lot to learn and lot to experience, right? I think
Agreed.
salary is not very correlated to the title or the designation that you have.
So quickly summarizing, from what I understood is, if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of experience, without an MBA or anything, you can earn roughly 4 to 5 in around that range.
Yeah,
But
as a marketing
once,
executive,
yeah,
I would say, yeah.
got it. As a marketing executive, 4 to 5 LPA, and then once you get a little bit of experience, and then maybe you can do an MBA. We can
Yeah.
definitely discuss later if we want to do an MBA or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you end up becoming a marketing manager, then 15 to 20 is probably the average. And then you can, sky's the limit after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we've covered the money and we've covered what a a marketing manager briefly does. So if the people are still there, they're definitely interested in all this sounds good. The money is good. The profession looks nice to me. Now tell me, how do I become one? Going down to the next thing, which will be a discussion on the roadmap. Like, let's say I'm a student, I've just entered college or at somewhere in my college, like, how should I start? And
So for a student, what I would actually say is while you're studying, is to kind of read about what you actually want to do in marketing, right? Because you do have that time while you're studying, and if you're studying marketing already as part of as part of your syllabus or curriculum, you'll always have that bookish knowledge, but usually that won't go into your daily basis. Like, I don't while it's obviously ingrained, I wouldn't say that let's see what the product, price, place, promotion is. That is a part of how you do, and it's just an activity. So I would say you kind of use that time to kind of learn and probably read about more things like articles. What are different brands doing, what are the different kind of campaigns, how did they execute it. So spend time in understanding those things, right? And then I would also say
any courses or articles that you can recommend here, if you have any in mind.
I mean, there are a lot of articles that you can read. One of my favorite is Mad Over Marketing. There is Social Samosa. There's multiple ways. Like your story is a good way to kind of understand what's happening. In the small space of like founders and that space. There's INC 42, which is more on the D2C space. Again, I would say these are some of the things that you can read to kind of go that. But again, I wouldn't say be restricted to only these kind of reading material. I would say probably just pick up a paper and read Economic Times, right? You learn a lot about marketing there. It's not just about business, money, and things like that. You'll also sometimes read about what brands did to achieve marketing. Look at hoardings, right? Observe around you. Marketing is all around you. You would see, at no point you would not see an ad, right? From your phone to devices to gadgets and all around you would see. That is marketing, right? See what they've actually put there, right? Is it attracting you? And think of how it might actually attract you and how you can change that, right? And you can think that in your own head, and right. So working on things like that actually does improve your eye towards marketing. Like I said, it's not a very tough thing to jump into a marketing job, right? Like I was telling you, like a marketer, let's say a person who's doing marketing, and for him to, let's say, jump into an engineering role would be tougher, because you need a certain level of skill set, a certain level of technical knowledge to understand that. But it's not so tough for for an engineer to get into marketing, for anyone to get into marketing for that, right? Now you would have heard moment marketing as a new term, right? You would see Dunzo put up something, Swiggy will come put up something else in the same term. So that is moment marketing, right? You talk, something comes up and everybody wants to talk about it and everybody writes in. And if you're not talking about it,
I haven't heard about it. Like moment marketing is similar to like riding trends. That's what you're saying.
Not right. Yeah, it's basically riding on trends which are happening. Like you would have seen recently, right? There was a hoarding which Blinkit and Zomato had put, and everybody started copying that, right? So that was one instance which happened, and everybody started doing it, and it has to happen then. Like if I did it now, it wouldn't be relevant. So it has to happen on the same day. So as a marketer, you also need to be fast. You need to think of something and just push it out, right?
Got it. So from what I can understand is, let's say you're a student, prepare for some interviews, get into a marketing executive job, and then if you work hard enough and you're bright enough, you can definitely climb up the ladders to get to the place you want to.
And marketing and you get better in marketing just with experience, right? On day one as a marketing executive, you would just have bookish knowledge because it's not like a coder, right? Like you wouldn't have that technical experience, right?
Definitely.
You just have an understanding, but you're not there in the market to actually execute stuff, right? So it's very bookish knowledge.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Only with experiences is when you will become a better marketer.
Yeah, I've experienced it firsthand as well. I just tried a few Udemy, courses on marketing, digital marketing and all. And at the end of it, I just felt like I can cram up these 4 or 5 points, but what do I do with that?
Correct.
Right. So it's very experiential in practice. Once you
Yeah.
do it in practice, and then only you can grow. But
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
case
like,
of engineering, it's more like you just go through a course, and now you know this shit, and now you can do the same thing in your company,
yeah,
and you will be good. Everybody will
correct.
be praising,
Yeah.
right?
No, Naman, like even talking about you, right? You are a
Uh-huh.
marketer by yourself. Like, you might not know it, right? You have a vlog. This is one way of marketing your own self, right? You're building a perception in people's head that this is me, this is my personality, and this is Naman. And
Indeed.
let's say I'm the customer and I have a buy-in saying, hey, Naman's interesting. Let me just have a chat with him, right? So you have marketed to me. So you're a marketer yourself, right? So that is marketing. So people don't put a term to it, but I mean, it's all around you. It's just about analyzing. It's just about learning from that, and it's. I would
Definitely.
say it's something that everybody has. So it's not a very tough thing as people would say, and to do. But with experience, you do definitely get better, and you'll know what works and what won't.
Definitely, definitely. Makes a lot of sense. Got your point. Now let's move on to the sort of last section. Just couple of rapid fire questions and then probably we
Sure.
can wrap up. One is MBA a necessary or not?
I would say no. I would say not exactly. But if you do get an opportunity, you get it through a big B school. I would say still go because the kind of content, the kind of syllabus you kind of learn, and the kind of experience you have there is much better. That's because you also kind of get to work on a lot of case studies. You kind of get to meet a lot of like-minded people, and again from various backgrounds. I would say if you get an opportunity, I would say still go. And again, while you're doing that, if you, let's say, specialize in marketing as an MBA thing, I would say figure out what next, right? Marketing is still huge. From that, do you want to
Yeah.
do rural marketing? Do you want to do brand marketing? I would say figure that out, and I would say MBA is a good way for you to figure that out, right? But otherwise, if you're already sure what you want to do, I would say go into that field, right? Because MBA is still traditional. Now you have so many people doing MBAs every day.
Agencies or product companies?
That's a tough question. Like I said, both of them have their own challenges, right?
Hmm.
Uh, but I would, kind of turn that answer into saying I'm probably in a product company today because I worked in an agency before, right?
All right. A
But I would
diplomatic
still
answer.
say,
Cool.
I always have a soft corner for advertising and agencies because,
All right.
the
All right.
rush of it is something else, right? And maybe today I'm in a more calmer space of mind, and uh, you know it's all about work-life balance. In agencies, you don't have work-life balance, right? So
Definitely, definitely. But there's like a huge set of experiences that you can gain from
yeah,
them, right?
yeah, sure. But I would say, people starting off their careers, especially in marketing, agencies is a very good place to do that because you get an overall exposure on various brands and various companies, and like different kind of challenges. So I think you learn a lot there, right? You're not
Got
restricted
it.
to. So that's why you would see a lot of people, getting into marketing roles from agencies. They would start off in agencies, and then they would go into the client side and become a marketing manager or a brand manager. So
Makes
typically
sense.
that's
Makes
that's how
sense.
it is. You will usually be working in an agency, and probably you will be managing that client itself, right? And you will work so closely with that client that you know everything about that client. The client offers you a job as a in their marketing team, and you end up joining the client. It's typically
Certainly.
that's how it happens.
Sounds really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. One more rapid fire question. I just came up with it while I was discussing. What, according to you, is like, you discussed there are like a whole set of different marketers that are out there, right? What is, according to you, the top paid marketing job?
Uh, I would say brand marketers are paid a lot, and product marketing managers. I would say these two are very good places to go in if you want to build a career and also make a lot of money. Brand, why? Because that determines and that sets the tone for everything else that you do, right? It's something that you speak about. It's something that everybody resonates with, right? Today you would remember a brand by its logo, by its colors, and it's that important that you build that at first, that you leave that impression in a person's head, right? We still remember maybe just a song. We'll remember what ad that is today,
Yeah.
right? And that's
Yeah.
the importance of brand has today. Like the simple thing of the Britannia's ting 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 ting, like everybody knows, that jingle, right? So
Indeed.
I think things like that. is all the working of a brand manager. And today, with so much of tech companies coming up, tech products, a product marketing manager also is a nice place to be in.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. It was a pleasure talking to you, Nakul. I think we can wrap it up for now. Yeah, hope to see you in office. Yeah.
So thanks, Naman. Thank you
Indeed.
for this. It was
Indeed.
fun. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Same.
Bye.
Yeah.